Let's consider the PDO transmission now, because we just set up and defined what we want to have in the PDO, what we want to send out on the bus. Now we need to talk about when it should be transmitted. So when should a PDO be transmitted on the bus? When we look on PDO transmission, then we distinguish between two types. So one which is called synchronous transmission and one which is called asynchronous transmission. Synchronous transmission means that it will be synchronized to a sync signal sent by the master. Asynchronously means there are certain parameters that needs to be fulfilled or can be set up in the sensor, and it will react on those events. So this is an event-driven transmission, basically. Our sensor is default set up to be synchronous transmission driven, and this means it's set up to act upon a sync signal from the master. I have one example here showing a device that has two PDOs, where we have two different synchronized PDO transmissions. You can see here the blue one showed here. This is a PDO 1, and here we define a start sync. So that means it has to react or be sent out first time on sync 2, and then it says transmission type 5. This means every fifth from after start, every fifth sync it needs to send a PDO. The green one, you can see the start is 4, as shown here. It starts at 4, and then the gap between each of them is now 7 syncs. So this is just how you can set up various devices in your application. Asynchronous PDO transmission is an event-driven process. So this means the transmission will happen every time a specific event is fulfilled. In our case, we have 4 different events we can decide to let the sensor act upon. So the first one is an event timer. So this means this is a timer you can set, for instance, 100 milliseconds, and then every time this timer times out, so every 100 milliseconds, a PDO will be transmitted. The next one is delta. So that means looking on the measurement value. If this, you can define a window, and if this stays within the window, nothing will happen. But if it goes outside the window, outside the delta, a PDO will be transmitted. Then we have lower limit and upper limit. And this is basically the same, looking on the measurement value. If the signal changes and goes below the lower level, it will transmit a PDO. If the signal changes and goes higher than the upper, it will transmit a PDO. All the details concerning how to configure and set up the PDO transmission can be found in the operation guide.